Hello, so for anyone who doesn't know me, my name is Sydney Rain, but I also go by the Herb Fairy, and welcome to my channel. On my channel, I like to talk about herbalism, locks, holistic wellness, spirituality, and honestly anything else. And today I want to talk about a couple herbal books and references that I've used to start my herbal journey and I continue to use as I continue to learn how to heal myself and just take better care of my vessel. When I started my herbal journey, I want to say maybe 2 or 3 years ago, it was books and references like these that really helped me build up that herbal knowledge and start to build the foundation for the understanding that I honestly have today. So I have 5 books that I want to talk about today that I've acquired at various points in this journey, but I find myself always going back to and always finding new information no matter how many times I've read it over and over again. So the first book I wanted to talk about is actually the first herbal book that I ever bought, and I bought it because I was watching a YouTuber and she mentioned how this was her first book and she gained a lot of information about womb health and herbs to help regulate her womb from this book. And so yeah, this was my first official purchase, and that book was Alkaline Herbal Medicine by Aqiyl Aniys. I may have butchered that name, so don't quote me on the pronunciation. But yeah, so this book is a very easy read in my opinion. It's herbs that follow Dr. Sebi's herbal studies and teachings, and this is one of his students, and so this is sort of like a condensed and also expanded version of a lot of Dr. Sebi's herbs, along with recipes and then dosage as well. And as you can see, the book is not that big, so I think I literally read it within maybe like a day or two. And it's really nice because apart from talking about dosage and knowing how to prepare herbs or when to use them, it gives you about 40 herbs and it just breaks them down. And just to show you an example of a layout, it just has a short description of the herb. It has a picture as well, which is super helpful when you're trying to find it online. It gives a scientific name and then the origin as well. So yeah, Alkaline Herbal Medicine. And I honestly like that it's a small book because there's been a number of times where I know that there's information in this book that I want to reference or need to find out, except I don't keep track. I should probably put like post-its in my books so I could actually just like go back to the actual pages that I know will be valuable in the future, but I haven't done that yet. So it's nice to be able to just go back and I'll literally like flip through the entire book and literally pick up on new information that I either forgot or skimmed past the first time, and it's just like the gift that keeps on giving, to be honest. Okay, so the next book that I want to talk about is Natural Woman by Dr. Leslie Korn. And I actually got this book in Colorado at a bookstore. I don't remember which one, but anytime I go to a bookstore, I go like straight for the health section, the health department, and see if there's anything that talks about like herbalism or if there's any valuable books about womb health or just anything that catches my eye. And so I happened to get lucky and I found this book, which is amazing because this book is Herbal Remedies for Radiant Health at Every Age and Stage in Life. So this book is amazing not only because it literally has a whole section dedicated to a bunch of oh, hi Pantha. So this book is super resourceful because not only does it have a full section dedicated to herbs and their specific uses and their benefits, but also a section for I guess medical terminology and terms you may run into when speaking about herbs. So that makes it super useful. And so mixed in with everything else, you'll find recipes that are based off of the season that you're in, recipes based off of the certain season of your body you're in, the life cycle. And it's just really cool and useful because obviously I'm 23 right now, so I'm in my 23-year-old life stage era, and you know, it's helpful to read about stages that I've come from and stages that I'll be coming into, so it's not as scary, you know. It makes that aging process and those changes that naturally happen in our body normal. and accessible when it comes to healing any discomfort or disease. And I honestly love when books break down herbal medicine to you as if it's the first time that you've ever heard about it, because it allows you to sort of like step into the author's shoes and experience their process of teaching and the information that they've picked up throughout their experience and their journey. So it's just super valuable, and it was written by a female author, which I think is amazing. And yeah, natural woman. Okay, and so for the third book, along the lines of having a female author and sort of understanding the female body and womb health, the third book, which I love a lot, is Sacred Woman. So of all the books that I have, I want to say that Sacred Woman is probably the book that I work with on the most consistent basis. And that's because apart from it talking about womb health and giving a lot of valuable recipes and pointers about how to take care of your body, it is also like a self-guided spiritual journey book as well. Yes, it is a guide to healing the female body, mind, and spirit. And one thing that's really interesting about this book is it's actually from a Kemetic, ancient Egypt perspective when it comes to healing and how to take care of our mind, body, and spirit. So Queen Afua basically sort of gives you like a crash course in ancient Kemetic teachings and spiritual beliefs, and uses that as the framework to healing ourselves and healing our body. And I'm not gonna lie, it honestly took me about a year or two to come around to this book, because I have a very strong Christian background and upbringing, which I no longer truly associate with, but a lot of those practices and beliefs are still very much ingrained into my mind. And so having to switch over and have this new perspective of Kemetic beliefs and training was honestly like a mindfuck for me. Like, I remember the first time that I tried reading this book, it actually triggered me. And I had this entire like faith crisis, and I was able to work through it, and I actually had a really amazing conversation with my father, who also I guess has a Christian background but is more of a universalist now. And I don't know, this book helped me in a lot of ways just kind of like break out of those old kind of mindsets when it came to religion and spirituality, and where my background and my upbringing fit into all of that and who I am today. I mean, I can recommend you this book for a number of reasons, but if you're someone who struggles with routine that allows you to heal and allows you to look deeper into yourself and who you are, I definitely recommend this book. This book is also an amazing opportunity to connect with a greater community as well. If you read the book, it talks about a lot of different Facebook groups you could join, and just allows you to understand that you're not in this alone, and you're not the only one reading this book and going through this and having these questions and thoughts and fears in your mind. So I suggest that anybody with a womb, to be honest, reads this book. If there's one book that I say you need to read this if you have a womb, I'm gonna go with this one, especially if you identify as a Black female or a divine feminine energy. This is definitely the book for you. Okay, and I'm running out of sun, so I'm gonna go a little faster now, but the next book that I want to talk about is Working the Roots: Over 400 Years of Traditional African American Healing. All right, and this book is by Michelle E. Lee, and let me tell you, if you're someone who is interested in African American healing, herbalism, or root work, but you don't come from a family line that I guess openly talks about that, or you don't know any known relatives who are actively practicing, this is probably, okay, of what I know, this is probably one of the best books on the market for you. Michelle literally documents the healing practices of multiple generations of healers from the Deep South, and their knowledge, their stories, who they are, where they got their knowledge from, and how they passed it on. And for someone like me who sort of just like stumbled upon and fell into this very specific passion without having any known relatives that truly practice, this was like my saving grace, to be honest, because I've always felt so disconnected from my ancestry in that sense. I don't have anyone to pass down this information about herbalism and how to heal ourselves and what my people did coming into this country and how they took care of themselves up until today. So having a book that provides me with generations of knowledge and real people who may or may not still be with us today really made me feel connected and grounded in a way that I had been looking for but hadn't felt yet. So that's why I love this book. And just like the others, it does have a section dedicated to herbs and recipes, but also the first half of the book is literally just narrations and biographies of healers and family members and their experiences. And some of it doesn't even have to do with healing. It doesn't have to do with herbalism. It's literally just laying out pieces of these people's lives that they wanted to talk about and capturing them in this book, which I find really beautiful and really interesting, and it's truly amazing. All right, and the last book I want to talk about today is African Holistic Health. I was trying to read it from the screen and it was backwards. All right, so of the 5 books, this is probably the densest read of all 5 of them. There's a lot of good information, but it's a lot to take in, and to be honest, I have not even finished this book. It's more so something that I just kind of go to and I pick at it, or I go back to reference the things that I have read thus far. And just to give you an idea of what's in this book, it talks about herbs, vitamins, minerals, aminos, granular, and food. Recipes, sexual personality types, foods to avoid, self-diagnosis charts, male cycle, anthrax, AIDS, and cocaine addiction remedies. So it's a lot. It covers a lot in this book, to be honest. Yeah, and honestly, Llaila had no time to waste. He calls out everybody in this book, so be prepared for that. It's very entertaining, very funny, but truly it is a mouthful. And yeah, I honestly don't have a lot to say about this book just because it is so dense, and it would be kind of redundant to talk about what's in this book, but also at the same time, I just want to say it's very valuable. I think this is probably like the second book that I bought after Alkaline Herbal Medicine, so it was still very fresh when it comes to my herbal journey when I discovered this book and decided to add it to my collection. But yeah, a lot of valuable information. I like that it has a lot of charts and it really goes in depth when explaining a lot of things. And of the 5 books, this is probably something that anyone that identifies or aligns himself with more masculine energy would want to look into. I think just because it does talk about the male form as well, and a lot of my books have to do with feminine energy and the female form, so I would say this is a great resource if you don't identify with those or you're just interested with understanding masculine energy more. This is the first time that I decided to record a video with my kittens out, and they're definitely losing patience. Panther's actually doing fine. He's out. But Faye over here, my lovely little girl, loves to scratch and she loves to play. So this is probably gonna be the end of the video. So yeah, those are just a couple of the herbal books and resources that I'd recommend. Like I said, these are ones that I've picked up along my herbal journey, and I honestly, whenever I see a book that looks anything herbal or looks like it has any type of information that would align with the things that I'm interested in or my passions, I just like nab it. So I'll let you know if the collection extends. And I also have a couple other books too that I didn't mention, but I'm losing sunlight and my cats want to play, so I think this is gonna be the end of the video. But thank you so much for watching thus far. If any of those books interested you, I left a link below, so it should be easy to find them online and purchase them. I also don't think any of these books were too expensive because I myself am always on a budget. So I think probably the most expensive book, it was probably like $25 max. And you could probably find free PDFs online. Maybe I'll try to link that too to make it easier. I'll give a couple options. Or you could always download a couple of them on Kindle. So So yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. And I should have more information about these on other pages and other accounts, social accounts that I have. I have a whole Instagram at Rain and Soul where I'm going to be talking a lot more about herbal things and posting about it. So if you're someone who's on Instagram more than YouTube, definitely check that out as well. All right, so the sun is setting, so I think that is my cue to go. Until next time.